One thing that distinguishes older parts of towns across Oklahoma are their big trees. Today we're in downtown Tulsa area looking at some of the big trees in the neighborhoods around here, and with me is Don Massey of CRD Services. Hi Don.
Hi Sue, how you doing today?
Just great, thanks.
We're good.
Well Don, I understand that you've been working with the city forester here in Tulsa developing a list of big trees in Tulsa.
That's correct. I've been compiling a list of the largest trees in Tulsa County for each species.
Now, do you find that most of those trees are in yards like this, or are they out in the country?
Well, I've been concentrating on the urban environment, or specifically the city of Tulsa, but Tulsa County in general.
I see. Well, now I understand that the American Forestry Association has a national list of big trees. Are any trees in Oklahoma on that list?
That's right. There is a list of national registry, and we do have 3 trees here in Oklahoma that are the largest in the nation.
Well, that's really exciting. Well, now, Oklahoma, I guess the Oklahoma Forestry Division also has a list or a registry of big trees. Can anyone enter, if they find they have a big tree, can they enter that?
That's right. If someone does have a large tree in their yard, we'd certainly like to know about it. We'd like for them to submit an application describing that tree and telling us more in detail about that tree.
I see. Well, now behind me is a Norway spruce, and it's the biggest one I've ever seen in Oklahoma. This is beautiful.
Yes, that is correct. It's a beautiful Norway spruce.
How tall is it?
This tree was measured at 53 feet.
That's pretty impressive. It probably was planted when the house was built back in the 20s.
Very likely that was the case.
Well, it's really unusual. It's a beautiful, beautiful tree. But just even average trees that we know, such as sycamore, could go on the list too, right?
Yes, Tulsa does have the largest sycamore tree in Oklahoma, and it's along the Riverside area, and it's 114 foot tall. So it's a very impressive tree.
Oh, that's really impressive. Well, what are some other trees in the Tulsa area that we might show our gardeners along with the sycamore?
Well, one that's a little unusual but very pretty, and that is a China fir.
And that's one you might not know. That it's in the Cunninghamia genus, I understand.
Yes, it's a little unusual for this area, and it's a very attractive tree.
One other tree we wanted to show you is a tulip poplar. The tulip poplar is not a poplar tree. It's in a different family altogether, but we've got a great big one in the front yard that's just beautiful.
Yes, this one is the largest in Oklahoma as well. It's a beautiful tree. In the spring it has little delicate flowers, which are a pink and green color. And
just now the leaves are turning a brilliant yellow. Well, on the big trees, if a person wanted to measure their tree to see if it measures up to the list, how do they go about it?
Well, one of the first things they need to do is measure the circumference at 4.5 feet above the soil surface. And so if they measure, it's called DBH, or diameter at breast height. So if they measure at 4.5 feet, they get their circumference, and after that then they take a height measurement, or measure the height. And there's some surveying tools that we use to measure the height of trees. Okay. And then after that they take the crown spread. They take the narrowest and the widest crown spread, and they average those two figures together.
I see. Now how do you do crown spread? Do you lay a string on the ground and look up, or?
Well, you find the outermost limb or the outermost branch, and you measure from point to point, or furthest point to furthest point on the tree, and you measure narrowest point to narrowest point on the outermost limb.
I see. Well, now back on that measuring the height of the tree, you mentioned surveying tools. If a person had a transit, would that work?
Yes, that's one of the tools that would work.
If you'd like to learn more about how to measure a big tree for your community, or for the Tulsa area, or for the state competition, you could write to us here at Oklahoma Gardening, and we'll send you instructions on how to measure the width and height and circumference of your tree. And also, we can send you an Oklahoma Big Tree entry form that the State Department of Agriculture has put together for compiling the state list of big trees. You never know, you might just have the biggest tree of that species in your very own backyard. Well, Don, thanks for joining us today and sharing that information. I hope you all enjoy the fall color.